Hello, everybody. Good morning. Welcome back to another episode of Your Morning Drive. I am Logan Lewis. I am your host today, live from the Fireworks Studio in Marietta, Georgia. Before we get into our guest today, if you enjoy what we're doing here, make sure you send it to one friend, family member, coworker, any of those that you think they need me to start their day for them. If you want to listen, you can do so on Apple and on Spotify. But if you want to watch our pretty faces, you can watch us on YouTube as well. And if you want to support more than just listening, give us a follow on Instagram at Your Morning Drive. And there you'll get show updates, announcements, giveaways, clips, and everything in between. My guest today is a local content creator slash momfluencer based out of the Cherokee County area. Most days she spends her time building up other women and branding herself through the social media platforms. I cannot wait to enjoy this conversation with my guest today, Toneeka.
Hi.
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 How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm so great.
I'm so excited.
Thank you for being here,
Thank
first
you
of
for
all.
asking me.
So busy of a woman, and you made time for me, little old me.
Got to make time for the yeses, you know?
Yeah.
Got to go for it.
Yeah. This is your first time doing anything sort of like this?
Yes.
It's been on your vision board, you said.
Has. Yes. Yeah. For like 3 years now.
Really?
Yeah.
And was it just something like you wanted to be a part of? You wanted to do yourself? Like what? How was it on? Or was it just the word podcast on the vision board?
No, I have wanted to be on one and then always thought like I have things to say and it's interesting. And I think by sharing openly things you've like been through or whatever, that's how that connection is built. And so why not have my own someday?
Yeah,
We'll see.
absolutely. So this was put together by the one and only Ashley.
My bestie.
Shout out to Ashley.
My hype girl for life.
Absolutely. One of my absolute work besties. One of my favorite parts of my day job is Ashley.
I'm sure of that. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like she's that for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But she's one of my favorite parts of working there.
She's one of my favorite parts of just my everyday.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been best friends since we were 18.
Wow. So you've known each other for.
But we went to high school together.
Okay.
But she was really cool. I was not cool.
Really?
She was so cool.
So popular?
So popular.
What were you like in high school?
I was like kind of a jock. I played volleyball.
Okay.
And just kind of hung out. I was the new kid in school, which I guess is why I can talk to a wall.
Yeah.
My mom moved me here 2 days before freshman year started. So new state, I did not know a single human. And I had to walk into
school. You didn't know anybody.
High school at that.
High school.
As a girl. And I lived in Oregon. So I wasn't like raised in the South predominantly. So it was a huge thing.
Why the big move from Oregon to Georgia?
She met a man.
Met a man.
Moved us down here.
And it worked?
Nope.
Oh, great.
No, it didn't. They're now since divorced. But
okay.
I mean, for a while it did.
Okay,
yeah,
sure.
And then we've stayed. So I've lived here since 2000.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So now it's home.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But I knew her then. She was talking to everyone. She was everyone's friend, but like she was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
wow.
Yeah.
Well, which sounds like today.
Yeah.
She's super
so
cool.
Everyone wants
everyone wants to be her friend.
Yeah. It was the same then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's funny.
She was like the cheerleader.
I was going to say, was she an athlete as well?
Cheerleader.
Okay.
Yeah. And then everyone just wanted to like be at Ashley's house and for her to come around.
Wow.
Yeah. And then we went to college together.
Yeah. Where at?
We had Georgia Highlands. We went to Georgia Highlands together and we had math together.
Okay.
And she walked in and I was like, I know you and you know me and let's sit together because we didn't know what we were doing. Yeah. And then we were best friends.
Just clicked from there.
Together in college and had all of our fun glory days together. And then now we're friends 20 years later.
That's amazing.
God.
20 years later.
I know. It's crazy.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we're here.
Yeah.
I feel like we've been hyping this up for
I know. I'm so excited.
for weeks.
I know. Yeah, I'm excited to share all of this.
And it's really crazy that your people, your followers, your social media peeps are just as happy to be here. Hi,
Yes.
social media peeps.
Hi, my friends.
Hi,
My Blooming with
friends.
Grace friends. And
Blooming
all
with
my
Grace.
VIP friends and my social media friends. It's wild.
What's a
Like-
VIP friend?
Well, so I am in the skincare
Yes.
sales business, right?
Yes.
That's the predominant focus of my social media.
Yes.
So I partnered with a company 4 years ago
Okay.
on a total whim. Total whim.
Total whim.
Yep. I bought something and I was like, I like it. And the girl that I bought it from, I just adored her. And I did not know her in real life at all. I just thought she was so cute.
Mm-hmm.
And it was COVID. So everything had just shut down.
Sure.
And I was like, how can I make myself feel better?
Yeah.
Yeah. And my husband at the time had just left. He had moved out.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, clearly I just need to spend money on myself.
Yes,
to fix
absolutely.
It. Girl math.
Self-care.
Yeah, self-care was big at the time. And I was like, okay, so what am I going to do? And so I bought something that I had wanted. And then the girl, I ended up sharing it on social media, just genuinely that I liked it.
Like, hey, I love this thing.
I love this.
Yeah.
And she was like, you can sign up to sell it and make the money instead of me. And she had no idea at the time that like I was dealing with, just going from 2 incomes to one. And I didn't know what the future was coming for us. And I had a 3.5-year-old son at the time. He's almost 8 now. And I was like, I got to figure this out. Like, I got to make this work.
Yeah. Like, I got to make
like,
moves.
I got to figure this out.
Yeah.
I got to pay these bills.
Yeah.
My life shut down and the world did, but the bills keep
going.
Keeping on. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. Just tell me what to do. And literally just from that moment on, sharing things that I love, it's retired me from corporate America. It's provided for us in ways that I could have never seen.
Really?
Yeah, it's insane.
That's amazing.
You would actually die if you knew the possibility. Like, I don't think people realize how much money can be made on social media. And I just feel like if you're spending hours like scrolling social media and just looking at it, you need to seriously reprioritize how you're spending your time and you need to figure out a way to make money.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Because everyone sits on social media all day.
All day.
All day. All day long.
And we're all just hypnotized by it.
100%. And so and that's just the way of the future. I don't think it's going back.
No.
I think so many people, I think COVID catapulted it to where people are shopping online so much more. It's convenient. My bank card is linked to my phone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't even have to memorize anything.
No.
It's just like, want it, buy it.
Yeah.
And so I just really feel like if you're not spending some way, if you're suggesting things like, I got this cute top off of, like, Target isn't paying you.
Right.
Right. And that's silly. Target has enough money.
Yeah.
So like, or Amazon, whatever it is, right? Get a like to know it. Get an Amazon affiliate account. All that's free.
Yeah.
Figure out a way, because people actually care what you think. It's wild. But people want to be told what to buy. Like, people love that.
Was that something that held you back at first? Were you like, do people care about what I have to say about this?
Sometimes. And then I think so much of it, we deal with like, are people going to judge me that I'm sitting here selling things on social media?
Right. That's my biggest.
Yeah. Does Betty
halt.
Sue that I went to high school with, is she going to sit behind her phone and like judge what I'm trying to do for my family? Because there's so many icky MLM companies out there. And I feel like social media marketing has gotten such a bad rep from companies taking advantage of people. I think it's super important to research who you're going to partner with, to look into it. The one I'm with is publicly traded. It's free to join. They really are the best people. And I'm not just saying that because they pay me to, but they really are so good. And I think people need to do their research. But if you're approaching it in like, I try to look at it like, how can I share something that will help someone? Right? Like, I'm in the business of problem solving for people. Right. And that includes the business aspect of it too, right? Like, if you can spend time making money from your phone instead of having to go out and get a second job, like, that's amazing. But when I was starting, I was like, unless Betty Sue from high school is Venmoing me to pay my light bill,
right,
I could give a rat's ass what she thinks about it as she's scrolling along, because I feel like too, during 2020, if we had to sit there and go through social media during all of that,
Yeah.
if I'm washing my face online, that's like the least offensive thing that I've seen on
Yeah.
Facebook.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
So really just reframing my brain around like, unless they're sending me payments to like pay my bills or to take my son to Disney World or to not make it to where I'm sitting in rush hour traffic every day.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't really care. But that's a beautiful place to be.
It is a beautiful place to be.
It's very freeing.
I'm insanely jealous.
Yeah, you should try it. It's awesome.
My thing, so I know a girl who does something similar, and she does it for another big company. A lot of people have probably heard of this company. It's like a hair company.
Okay, yes, I know.
You know who I'm talking about? And she makes, from what it looks like, bajillions of dollars and goes on all these lavish vacations and has the nicest of things. And a while ago, she almost tried to convince me to do it. And I was like, first of all, just to put it bluntly, I'm not a female. How am I going to get other women to buy a product that I won't even use?
Yeah.
But like, watching her live the life that she lives, she's like almost like a Peloton influencer now. Like she goes and she does spin classes with Peloton at Peloton HQ. Like she's sitting there next to Allie Love or whatever her name is and is just pedaling away. And I'm like, yeah, this woman lives the life, and she works for nobody. She has her own schedule, just like you, and she goes to the things she cares about because she doesn't have to worry about putting time off or saying, hey, I'm going to be late for work today because I got to go do this. Like she lives the life she wants to live. And I want that so bad.
Yeah. I like to say I get to pick my paycheck.
Yes. Yes.
I get to be at all the field days. I get to be always the first one to chaperone. I get, if he has, my son has a doctor's appointment, nothing is ever questioned.
Right.
Yeah. And I mean, coming from a mom, I was always in corporate America.
Okay. I was going to ask what before this, where were you?
Call center.
Oh my.
Let's have a moment of silence. So I'm like, I have done worse for so much less. And not only was it just a call center, it was for pharmaceutical companies.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, I got this. You know what I mean? I will do this till I die. That's fine by me.
Right.
So
how'd you get there? Sorry to cut you off.
Knew someone.
What'd you graduate with?
A sociology degree.
Okay. I was, as I told you before I interviewed you, I talked to somebody else and we had a little discussion about how nobody uses their degree.
No, literally none.
Nobody uses it.
I actually did that post on social media the other day, and it was, I understand.
And I commented, and as I was reading through the comments, I'm like, damn, am I the only one that doesn't use my degree?
I know. I was like, so anyways, this got awkward, but I have a lot of like nurse and teacher friends, so you do need one for that.
Of
I will
course.
always back that up.
Of course.
But I'm like, I feel like it's a big waste of time and money now, unless you have something you're specifically going for college.
Right.
But that's like a rant. But I feel like we were just like sold something because everybody else was doing it, and we just like didn't know what else to do.
It was like society told you have to do it.
You go to college, and so then you go get a $40,000 piece of paper to not do anything with, just to have. And that's why I got my degree, was just to have it, because it was needed I thought it was needed for jobs.
Do you want to? Did you pay for your college?
No.
Okay.
I have very loving and supporting parents.
Correct.
Me. Yeah.
Me too. And do you ever feel like, maybe this is an insecurity of mine because I care a lot about what people think. I care about people's opinions so much.
Same.
Do you ever feel like you wasted their money?
No.
Not at all?
No.
Never?
No. I was the first one in my family to graduate college.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you. So no. And I feel like life experiences outweigh like what I didn't learn or take away from like a college class. I got to have so much fun with my friends, Ashley, one of them, but I don't know. I got to live a lot. My parents helped me a lot. I don't think they regret it either. I cared a lot about what they thought when I started to do my social media marketing, because they're boomers, right? And so they've been at their companies for 30 years and pensions, and you die there.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? And that was the only thing. And so then I started to do this on the side, but they were also just like, and truly when I started and when my son's dad left me, my mom would show up with groceries at the house. They're very
the best support system.
They're so good to me, and I'm so thankful. I was like, oh my God, they're going to think I'm crazy just because social media is new.
And it has
them.
the reputation to their generation of like, it's this mind numbing,
time waster,
toxic environment, instant gratification, all of those things.
And it can be.
Yes.
Right. And so, but the company that I joined, and they were like, well, you got to do something. And, everything is shut down. Like, if you're making money for it, have fun, whatever.
Right.
And then within, I signed up with the company end of March 2020. And by November, I earned my first all expenses paid success trip. So very quickly, I was making money to be comparable to my corporate job and earning trips.
Right.
Right. Because that's a perk with our company. You can earn 2 free trips a year. I've earned 6. So I was like, okay, and they were like, okay, if you are making good money, like keep at it. And so at the time I was still doing both jobs.
Mm-hmm. So, and both companies had no problem with doing.
Well, that was said. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely was an issue. A little bit passive aggressive comments, a little bit like, how are you spending your time on social media? I had to be careful about posting during work hours because we were working from home. For that 2 weeks turned 2 years to flatten the curve. So we were working from home at the time. So I would wake up super early. I would do my business stuff, and then I would do it during lunch. And then the second the clock hit 5, I would be back at my I wanted to feed all of my free time into building my dream. Yeah. Because I started to see, I'm like, okay, if it's paying me this now, what's it going to pay me next year if I don't quit? Right. And then I started to talk to people, and I'm like, it pays you that? Yeah. That's more money than I could have ever thought imaginable. Yeah. Okay, I won't quit. And so then it just kept building. And then when I got to take my parents on my success trips, they got to sit around and talk to people that have been in it for years, meet, the president of the company and, all that. So it validated my work. So they're absolutely thrilled that this is you
took them on a free trip.
I've taken them on 3 each. I rotate my parents. So they're divorced. Okay. So I rotate my parents on taking them on success trips. I spoil them. Yeah. Yeah. Because they did pay for my college. They have supported me so much. And so now I've taken them to Hawaii, Punta Cana, Jamaica, 7-day cruise.
Sometimes I'm criticized by some. I feel like most would agree with this, but I feel like my parents did so much for me, like paying for school. Yeah. Like they always say, like, if you won the lottery, what would you do? And I'm like, well, the first thing I'm doing is paying my parents back for college. Yeah. Or paying their house off or doing something extremely nice for them.
Correct. Yeah.
Just to show them that, like, hey, I didn't forget that I got here because of you guys. From. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
A vision board goal of mine is to buy a house big enough to where, like, if my mom needed, she could live in like an in-law suite or a basement or something like that.
Sure. Yeah. And that's an amazing goal to have. Yeah. Like, it's also funny, like, that, like, we start out, not all parents are like this, but like we start out with our parents taking care of us, and then in the end, we're the one taking care of our parents. 100%. And like, it's only fair. Like, some people are like, oh, my mom has to live with me because she has to be taken care of. It's like, bro, she did this for you for 18 years.
Yeah. And now I see it in a totally different standpoint too, right? Because my parents divorced when I was 6. My son's almost 8. So now as a child, I would see things a certain way and feel a certain way. And I grew up a certain way. And then I spent so much time in therapy post my ending of my marriage. And now I see how my parents handled things in a completely different light. Sure. So now it teaches me a lot what I don't want to do with parenting, especially co-parenting, how I don't want to act. And then struggles that my parents obviously had raising me. Yeah. Now I appreciate it a little bit more. I know what it took. Yeah. Yeah. So I definitely appreciate it in a whole other way now that I'm a parent, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Full circle.
I feel absolutely.
It was humbling. I'm like, oh.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it tough?
Yeah.
As tough as you would think it would be?
Yeah, tougher.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't wish co-parenting on anyone. It's so hard. Yeah, it's messy. It's complicated. It's icky.
It's passive aggressive. Or just straight up aggressive.
It's messy. It's complicated. All of that.
Because it's different if you split and you don't have a child.
Yes.
I mean, sure, there's still going to be struggles.
There could be feelings, but like if those papers are signed, it's kind of done. Yeah. Like, it's so interesting to me when you get married and you are going to raise a child together, and then maybe you don't agree on some things of parenting, which is all very normal in a marriage.
Yes.
Let's normalize not just agreeing on everything all of the
absolutely.
time. Then you're a Stepford wife, and that's not real either, right?
Right.
But then you split from that person, and then you still don't agree on certain things.
And now you have to take care of this kid.
And now you have to somewhat have a resolution, and you're still communicating daily and trying to raise a human to be a good human and all of that with someone you're no longer with. And navigating all of that is very complicated. And you don't know if you're doing it right. I mean, how is it to know? You can just try to do your best.
Like on one end of the spectrum, you could be like, we disagree with each other, but we're going to do our best for the kid. Or you're on the other end of the spectrum of like, I hate you, but we have to work together somehow, some way. Like I can't stand 3 feet from you.
Yeah.
But we have to be present for this child.
Yeah. For the most part, we're the first one.
Okay, good.
Yeah, on surface.
Sure.
We could be whatever.
Sure.
Then we're both at the baseball game
sure.
or whatever. Yeah.
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 You both have to come together for the greater good of your son.
Yeah. And I think everyone, it's not about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you have a kid,
it's the most selfless thing you will ever do.
Yeah. You are no longer the priority.
Ever. No, I don't ever think of myself first on anything.
Really? It's all him.
All him. But that's also why I work so hard.
Shout out to him. Maybe one day he'll listen to this, like 20 years from now or 10 years from now or whatever.
So. Yeah.
So shout out to you.
He's super cool. He's my number one hype man.
Yeah.
Yeah. He sees it all the time. He'll be like, I'm like, when we're on a trip, I'm like, how did we get here? He's like, because you work really hard.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I'm like, thanks.
It's good that he knows.
I think, you have to show them. I think women especially. So, and I'll get your point of view. And I know you don't have kids.
Sure.
Let's just brainstorm it out, right? So
yes, please.
Women are shamed when they work hard.
Sure.
Yeah. So we can't be the ones that work hard. But if a man goes out and works 80-hour weeks, good for you for being the breadwinner. You're such a hardworking man providing for his family. But when a mom is taking calls at 9:00 at night and she's in the trenches and she's working at 5 a.m. to do something and she's working on weekends or what, I bet she's not just being a present mom. She must be taking away from her husband. Which
is crazy that you say it like that, because not even from a man perspective, but from I graduated high school a few years after you perspective.
Okay.
I don't think that way at all.
You don't?
I've never thought that way.
Okay.
Like I have always said, like even when I was in high school, I'd be like, if I marry a woman who is the breadwinner and is working the 90-hour weeks and is just killing it for our family, like freaking A, hell yeah, let's go. Like good for her.
It's so interesting you say that, because I have a team of, probably 100 people on my team, right? Like in all different aspects of it, women that do it casually, women that this is their career, all in between, right? And you would not believe how many. My husband's mad that I'm on my phone, or my husband feels a certain way. How can I, and I'm like, his ego is killing me. It's such a trigger for me, because I'm like, such a little man syndrome.
Yeah.
Like,
especially if that's your, like, if it's earning, in my opinion, if that's making you money and providing for your family, whether you have kids or no kids, if it's providing, I would just shut up. Like about it, like
and I think
let her
also,
work,
so
get that bag queen.
Right. And it's so different too, right? Because I have not had a spouse during this career, right? So obviously if that happens, things would have to be adjusted, I'm sure. Because I don't have to worry about someone else's feelings on it, which is also a great perk of being single. I don't have to worry about how my daily actions would hurt someone's ego or whatever. But I think communication could be key, right? Like, hey, I've got an hour. I need to put this into my business. Because I think how we've said before, people just think you're mindlessly scrolling social media. Yeah. But if you're using it as a work tool, then my mind is, I'm not on there for fun. So,
absolutely.
So I'm not just when you sit at home, when it's 9:00 at night and you're scrolling TikTok because you're bored, right? And you're just on the
that's different than what you're doing.
Different than what I'm sitting there doing.
Absolutely.
So if you communicate that, hey, I need an hour. Could you go and do the kids' bath?
Yeah.
I got to do this call. Could you do bedtime tonight?
It's when it's not communicated is where the toxicity starts to build
and
up.
The resentment.
Yes.
Yeah. And I feel like so much breakdown of people's relationships are unmet expectations. Because I have it in my head, I would expect you to sit down and maybe hold my hand, spend time with me, watch a movie with me. But if we didn't communicate that, and then you just dive into work mode, but then now my feelings are hurt. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like it could all just be saved with a
Absolutely.
sentence.
I remember getting into an argument, or not an argument, but like there was a day that when me and my wife were dating,
Yeah.
we had this moment of like, we didn't live together yet. So she was visiting me for the weekend and she asked me what I wanted to do that day. It was on a Saturday. And I was like, well, I just want to hang around. I want to be casual today. I don't want to lay her.
Yeah.
It was really nice outside, but I was like, I don't want to do anything today. I'm
Yeah.
casual. She's like, oh yeah, me too. But then at the end of the day, she was like real quiet. And I was like, what's wrong?
Yeah.
Like, let's talk about it. And she was just like, I'm mad at you for not doing what I wanted to do today. And
Yeah.
and then I said, but I didn't know you wanted to do that today.
Right.
And she was like, huh. And now we always recall back to the moment that we call it of, she was like, I was mad at you for not being able to read my mind.
Yeah.
And then she was like, but then I realized how stupid that was because I didn't tell you that, hey, I wanted to go on a
Right.
walk today because it was
It's
so beautiful.
Nice. Yeah.
She was like, I am sorry that I was mad at you for not knowing my brain.
Yeah.
And she was like, and I just realized that was stupid. And I was like, yeah.
But it's valid. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so once you get over that hurdle, I feel like your communication skills just ramp up.
Yeah.
And like, so a few months ago, I tried to take a little bit of a break from social media, like right at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Try to do a little bit of a reset.
Yeah.
And so I gave her my phone, and there were some deeper reasons behind it. But most of the time, it came down to I was seeking attention online more than I was being present with everybody around me.
Yeah.
So I gave her my phone. I gave her my passwords. She changed all of my passwords. So she knew the passwords and I didn't.
Yeah.
And whenever I wanted to get on social media to plug something or promote something, I would ask her for the login, and she would take my phone login, give it to me, and then I'd log out and give it back to her.
Right.
And it worked for a good long time. But then it got to the point where I was starting to do more, like the podcast stuff was really starting to ramp up more, and I was getting more guests. I was doing it more often.
Yeah.
I was promoting more often. I was doing some social media for some businesses. And I was like, ultimately, I can't keep not having my social media logged in on my phone.
Yeah.
So then it got communicated like, hey, this is how I want to do it. This is how I want to structure it so that I'm still being present with you.
You have to have boundaries around it.
You do.
You do. Yeah.
Do you view social media any differently than before you started working on it?
Yes.
Like, do you now scroll because you're bored? Or do you
sometimes.
Do you only get on it really to work? Do you see it as work?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is a work tool.
Yes.
Yes.
You don't do it casual. Well, I mean, you have a casual account.
I have a casual account. Yeah, I'm not,
Do you have a casual account that's aside from your work? Okay.
No,
I've always wondered that.
No, I am just me.
Okay.
Yeah.
It always makes me wonder if like people like, I don't know, like Luke Bryan, does he have an account where he posts like family stuff? But it's only
it's under
private.
It's private.
It's under a different name that his family and parents and relatives.
I
hope for anybody.
For people that they can actually enjoy it.
Rather than like, if I made it big and famous, if my
Yeah.
parents, instead of seeing pictures of my kids, they're just seeing music videos or podcast videos.
Yeah.
Like,
and and social media with kids is an interesting thing too.
Yeah.
As my best friend Ashley, she does not post her kids on social media.
Right. And if she does, there's an emoji over their face.
There's an emoji over their face. Yeah. And I have, a pretty decent following, and everybody feels like they know my son. So when we're on these success trips and all these things, like, how's your, like, hey, bud. And he's just like thinking he's a rock star.
Oh, yeah. He's so just cool. On top of the world.
He is a vibe. Yeah.
Icon.
They're all here for him.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly.
For sure.
Yeah. He walks the stage with me every time we do
amazing.
recognition. I take him up there with me. He thinks he is there for the show. Yeah. The show is him. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know if I were to reach like I don't know if I would I don't know, but I feel like it's such a big part of my life. Like he is so funny. Like I couldn't help but share him.
A few weeks ago, I invited, or a month ago now at this point, it was my birthday, and I invited Ashley and her husband because I've gotten a little, I don't want to say closer with Ashley, but I've gotten to a point where I'm comfortable with her.
Yeah.
Like inside or outside of work. And I invited her to my birthday, and she stopped by and said hello. She didn't stay long. But I saw her kids, and I was like, oh my God, I've never seen your faces before.
I know.
And I was like, they look just like her.
I know they do.
And so it's interesting how, because I know a lot of people that do the same thing. They put emoji over their kids' faces. Yeah. And it's
crazy
like
a world out there.
It is.
Yeah.
And I wonder if she's been burned And that's why she does it? Has she always been that way?
Always.
Okay.
Yeah. She doesn't want, no, she's just watched too much Dateline. Yeah.
I understand.
I get it. Yeah.
There's a lot of freaks and weirdos out there, and you just never know.
You never know. Yeah.
Do you think that your relationship with your son has, I don't want to say skyrocketed or improved, but do you think it's changed definitely since you separated from your ex-husband?
Well, he was so young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like at the time, he was 3.
He was 3 when his dad left. Yeah.
So he didn't have any really understanding
Sometimes
of it, really.
He says he remembers certain things, but I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah,
I don't think.
there's no way.
So no, and it was a struggle in the beginning. He would cry when his dad would leave. I mean, it was true. I would have panic attacks when he would leave because, a 3-year-old can't really communicate
what he wants
in full sentences. So then he would go with someone, and we were not on good terms at all when he first left. And so then it's like, I can't even ask him like what all they did, or like, are you okay? Did you, I don't, that was really hard. But now that he's a little bit older, I mean, it's different, but I do think we're extremely close. I don't know that we would, I'm assuming we would be super close if I was, actively with his dad. But we definitely are extremely tight knit.
Yeah.
He's very like needy on the mom front. He's always like, can you snuggle me? Can you eat? Like, we're just very thick. Like,
I was going to say a word, but it's got a negative connotation to it, but I was going to say codependency.
Yeah. I would own that truly. Yeah.
Okay.
Cause we just, he's all that I got, that's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're very like, if he goes to do anything else, he's like, well, mom, can you come?
Yeah.
Yeah. Even like with his dad, like, okay, dad's taking me. Well, can mom come? Is mom coming?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's very, he's very used to me being at everything.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, like you said before, like with the fact that you can make your own schedule and everything, it's amazing that you can be there for everything.
Yes.
Like I remember like when I was a little kid, my dad worked,
Same.
all the time.
All the time.
Was never home. For the first several years of my life, I don't remember him being around much because my parents had me whoopsie daisy.
Okay.
And got married, whoopsie daisy.
Okay.
And
they're still
together.
Okay.
Well, they had been dating for several years, but I wasn't supposed to happen as quick as I think they wanted me to.
Yeah.
Glad that I'm here because we might not be here and I might not be doing the things, but either way, he wasn't around much.
Yeah.
And so I remember just as a young kid, like me and my mom were just like this, and still to this day, like I feel the need to constantly call my mom. And
I hope my son is that way, not in like a weird, creepy way.
No.
Yeah. But I just want to be involved. I'm like, are you going to buy a big house so mommy can like live with you when you're old? And he's like, yeah.
And it's different because
like, yeah, please.
Like my wife's dad is in Nashville and her mom has passed a few years ago, but she could go weeks without talking to her dad. Weeks.
I talk to my parents almost every day.
Yeah. I talk to at least one of my parents every day.
Same.
My siblings, do you have siblings?
I have an older brother.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I could go weeks without talking to them, but it's because they're living their life.
I don't talk to my brother, but a couple times a year.
Yeah. It's whatever.
Same.
But like, especially my mom, I feel like I talk to her every day about something.
Yeah, same.
Or see her at least once a week. We
go to dinner at least once or twice a week with my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's for sure codependent. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I need them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seeing my parents both go through my mom's parents are both still alive, but seeing my dad go through losing both of his parents back when I was in high school, it just made me think like, I don't know what I'm going to do when my parents aren't around.
Yeah. I can't even, no.
It's not.
No. Like my parents want to have the talks of like wills and this is there. And I'm like, no. But I do know that I understand. I need to know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't imagine it.
Yeah. It was like last Thanksgiving that my dad like pulled me aside. He was like, hey, and we're at their house and he's like showing me their office computer. And he's like, hey, so on the desktop, there's this folder.
Yeah.
And if it happens, you got to open that folder and there's instructions on everything.
I love that they've done that though.
I love that too. And I want to be the same way one day when I have kids. But I was like, Dad, come on. He was like, I know, but you're the oldest. You've got to be the one that you're running the show. Yeah. When we die.
See, and I'm the youngest and I'm the girl and it's still kind of going to be all up to me.
Yeah.
So that'll be a fun dynamic, but it just is what it is.
My siblings are they'll be the first to admit this. They're very, they're a lot more, I feel like maybe this is a flaw on my part. They're a lot more emotional than me sometimes.
Okay.
And so I'm very like cut and dry. Like, this is the instructions. This is what
This is
mom
what
and
they
dad
said to
said.
do. Yeah.
This is what they said to do. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah.
And my dad is very methodical. So I
So
know
is
that he's
mine.
planned everything.
So is mine.
Everything.
Yes.
He's who you call. This is when you call them. This is what you tell them.
That's my dad too.
So
Step-by-step guide.
step-by-step guide to when we die.
Yeah.
It's like, have you seen stupid reference, but Night at the Museum with Ben Stiller?
Yeah.
It's like he's given those instructions. When the lights go
Here's
out,
the map.
use the map. Here's the instructions. Give the dinosaur the bone. Feed the monkey the bananas. If you
Yeah.
do it out of order, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
But if you do it in this order,
Yeah.
everything will be smooth.
Yeah.
And it's morbid to think that him and my mom sat there and typed that out, because my parents are just, they're in their late 50s. They're not super
mine
old.
Are in their later 60s.
Okay.
So yeah, my dad is 69 and my mom is 60. She'll be 67 next month.
Yeah, it's just kind of morbid.
So it is. But
my dad travels a lot for work, and he's always on, this isn't a flex, but he's always on like private jets and like,
ooh, we need that.
That's just because he's up there.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, he's been in his career for 30
Forever.
years. So he's just one of the big boys.
Yeah.
And, you know, him and my mom travel a lot. So he's like, if we both go down in a crash, and I'm like, Dad, why you got to
plant that seed?
And he's
now
like,
I'm going to be scared.
He's like, but it could happen.
That's why the president and the vice they don't travel together. You got
Correct. Which I had no idea about until like the other day. Like recently, I was like, oh, that makes sense.
It does make sense.
Because if one of them dies, the other takes over.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah. No, I'm really thankful my parents are who they are. But
absolutely.
they're even better grandparents. So you'll get to see that. Oh yeah. They're so much more fun.
My dad is begging us to have a kid.
How long have y'all been married?
It'll be 2 years in a couple weeks.
Okay.
So pretty new.
Yeah. I would enjoy it. I got pregnant within a month after being married.
Okay.
Yeah.
So happened real quick.
Real quick. And we had been dating for like 8 years off and on. And then it was like, well, we're not trying, but not trying.
Right.
Yeah. And then we had actually been like, let's actually go back to not trying, but I was already pregnant.
Wow.
Yeah. But I often say all the time, I'm like, it was so scary when it happened that fast. We had just bought a house. We had just gotten married. And then 6 weeks later, I found out I was pregnant. Yeah. We got married. I bought the house in August, got married in September, and found out I was pregnant in October. But now I'm like, what a God thing, because our marriage fell apart, and it would have wrecked me if I wouldn't have had my son.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to get up. I didn't get to lay on the floor and cry. I mean, I did lay on the floor and cry.
Yeah.
But you I had to get up to take him to school. I had to go to work. I had to figure it out. So yeah, I think in a lot of ways having him so not planned absolutely saved and probably put the trajectory on my life to be so different.
I hope he one day listens to this and hears that.
I hope so.
Because that's amazing.
Yeah.
Because on one hand, it made you get up and pull up your pants and figure shit out.
I had to save myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was also there to be this is the why. This is the why.
Yeah. And we always say that with my job. Like, what's your why? Why are you here?
Yeah.
And mostly with the moms that I do this with, or the women I do this with, it's a lot for their kids.
Yeah.
I want to provide summer camp. I got to pay for, travel baseball. I got to pay for, all of those things. It's very seldom because I want to get my hair and nails done.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's not. Yeah.
Was that your foot that I just tapped? No, it was that. So I was like, oh God.
Oh, God. Yeah, no, it's not anything like that. I want to take my family on vacation, or it's very, I think it's a lot to like show our kids, what you can do if you go after your dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or what hard work can pay off.
I can only imagine what social media will be like when he's my age.
I know, it's kind of scary.
It is. Like, where will we be?
AI bot people walking around. I don't know.
It's weird because like I feel like right now, like social media, like it's really hard for social media to change. Like I feel like when I think about like what kind of app could someone invent that's like, I know B Reels tried to do something different.
Yeah.
Like they tried to be like, oh, well, in the moment you're going to take a picture at the same time every day and you're going to show people the authentic you. But I don't think it ever took off.
Right.
I think there's a niche people that use that app.
Yeah.
But like it didn't take off like Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or anything like that.
I think the interesting thing too is, and it's almost like also with reality TV,
Where could it go?
But like everybody's so curious and nosy.
Yeah.
And so that's really what I do on social media all day. I share little snippets of my life. I make people feel like they know me. They connect to me, and then they trust me. And that's social media. If you want to be successful on social media, you have to connect with someone. You have to be yourself, because people compare themselves anyways. So you have to be real enough. And that's, I think, how certain people are successful and then others aren't. They try to get on their social media and be like people they want to be like. There's no connection in that.
And you can tell that it's fake too.
100% tell that it's fake. Yeah. People want to see the messy and the complicated, and that's a drawback to social media too, just from my standpoint, is when you're going through a breakup or when you're going through like dating at 38, it's awful. And you're going through that and you share a little bit and then it doesn't work out or it doesn't whatever, then it's like, you got to share that too. And then people are so invested that it's like there was a one breakup that I went through last year, and it ended up being on, by the way, there is a whole like, are we dating the same guy page,
which I had no idea about until you kind of shared that little snip with me.
Fascinating. Yeah.
But we haven't talked about this in full because I said we got to cut this conversation off and talk about this on the pod. So
I was dating someone, and whenever I split from my marriage or my marriage split from me, I really took years to take time off. I had been with him forever. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I liked. I didn't know what I wanted to be. I didn't know who I wanted to be. I just wanted to focus on myself. I wanted to be completely selfish and I wanted to heal. I didn't want to walk around traumatized forever. Mm-hmm. That does no one good. So I went to therapy. I did all the things, and then I'm like, okay, I'm ready to get out and date again. And so I started doing like online dating, which is just awful. But like also at 38, I work a lot. I have a kid. Like, where am I going?
Right.
I'm not out at the bars.
Yeah.
Like, ew, you know what I mean? Like, what am I doing? You know?
Just take me to a Chili's.
Can I get endless chips? Like, can someone just please, like, what's happening?
Chili's, if you want, sponsor this.
Please
send me all the free chips. I will promote you every day.
Sticks, like,
I don't think I've ever had it. I used to work at Chili's too.
Ooh, man,
back in the day.
They're so good.
They are. I gained so much weight.
Yeah, I used to work at Rafferty's, and
which one?
The one in Kennesaw.
Dude, I've went there so often. Wait.
Really?
Oh, we probably have mutual friends.
I bet we do.
Okay. When was the last time you worked there?
Well, I mean, I was in college and I'm older than you. So early 2000s it would have been.
God, maybe not. But I had friends. So I worked, when I first moved to Georgia, I worked at a Kroger. And after I worked from Kroger, a bunch of my Kroger friends quit and they worked at Rafferty's. And I loved Rafferty's. R.I.P. to the one in Kennesaw.
Man, I'm so sad. We went to Nashville on a girls' trip and they have Rafferty's there. And I was
like,
we're going. Yes.
I know they have one in Athens.
Out of the way to go in Nashville. I was like, we're going. And we're getting the old boy cheese fries. And we're getting the croissants.
Oh.
I know.
Stop it.
I know. It's so good. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. You worked at that Kennesaw one.
I did, yeah.
Oh my God. So do you know, I'm just going to name names, and if you know them, great. If not, oh well. Do you know Taryn Theobodo?
That name sounds so familiar. It might have been just after my time.
Okay. What about Jordan Burton?
Mm-mm.
Josh Ryan?
No.
Chamberlain? Standridge? Okay. These are guys all past you.
Those are like the after class. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. But that's a crazy coincidence.
It was fun. But yeah, what were we talking about?
I don't know. Chili's dates. Take me to a Chili's.
Yeah. So I started online dating because I'm like, I'm not out here in the streets.
Yeah.
That's weird. And I met someone and he sold it, right? The love bombing, the let's just be together. Let me whisk you away on trips. Let me I won't be your ex, the whole vibe.
He swept you up.
He did. And I was so just like, I am to a fault. I just still believe in the fairy tale. I do. I'm like so fiercely independent because I was showed that I'm the only one that I can like rely on. Like I think if you ever meet a woman that's independent, it's because someone told her she had to be. And that's unfortunate. But I still like deeply yearn for someone to be like, I got it. Like you can sit down. I can do it. Sit down. I got it. And then to actually be done. The follow through, right, would be great. But anyways, we dated for a little bit. And then I had a friend that I am in business with. And she sent me a message. She was like, isn't this your boyfriend? Because he just swiped right on me on on the dating app. And I was like, what? And we've been together for like 6 months. I mean, it wasn't new,
Yeah, you'd gotten comfortable with each other.
We had established faithfulness. Like we had established that
like
we weren't, this is what we're doing,
Yeah.
and we're old, right? So I'm like, surely the games are over.
Right.
I would think he's like 43.
Right. Like you're trying to find your person at this point. Like no ifs, ands, or buts.
And I don't know that I ever want to get married again. I see it differently now. I feel like Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell. Why not? You know what I mean? Like just love me, be faithful to me, be kind. But we don't have to have a piece of paper legally to have those commitments to each other. I'm jaded a little, but I kind of just feel like
I understand that.
it's so easy to get married, so hard to get unmarried. Yeah. So hard and so expensive. So I'm just like, why can't we just like actually be together? Vibe out. If you want to leave, you can leave. Like, we're together because we actually want to be. And yeah, I was like, what? And so then because I was angry, I posted him on the Are We Dating the Same Guy thing because I'm like, well, clearly you're out here on dating apps. The point of being on a dating app is to meet people. And it blew up. It blew up like hundreds of comments. Like, oh, you too? Oh, I was waiting on this. And people getting in my DMs. And then I went to lunch with my best friends and we had a margarita. And my best friend, my other best, Lacey, was like, I'm getting your phone. And she took my phone and she screenshot his dating profile. Because we were public online. Yeah. Yeah. And she was like, one of the last things he said was like, I've always done right by you. And I'm like, we have different, like,
we have different definitions of right.
Done right. And so she posted that and posted his picture. I think it got over like 700 comments.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And and because people are invested in my life, they knew what I had gone through in my marriage. They knew that I was single. I lived my life so much on social media. And
to interrupt you, you're doing this career now. You're doing the social media thing. Okay, cool.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. This was last year.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So this is my full-time job.
Okay. This is yesterday or last year. Yes.
Basically.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Continue. Yeah. And so people see my life play out on social media. I mean, bits of it, right?
So sorry to interrupt you again. So when you're doing like these little tidbits of your life, is he ever in these tidbits?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Yeah. And that was the first person I had put on my social media since my son's father.
Okay. Got you.
So it was a very big deal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Continue. And I had even told him at the time, like, are you sure? Because he was like, let's post each other in your mind. Like it was kind of that energy. And then he was cheating. Trash. So I'm like, this is just very confusing for me. But I'm like, I don't think you get it. And I like living life on social media is a little bit, you have to have someone's like, do you want to be a part of this? Because like, so many people are invested.
Almost like the kids thing. Like, hey, if you want, like, you can just be.
We can just
to the side, not to the side,
but like the last person I dated, no one knows about.
Yeah,
I kept it off social media, so I handle that very differently.
Is it a question that you ask them, like, what do you want, or is what you want?
He wanted to be on my social media, and I was like, I'm just not. It blew up in my face last time, and I had to deal with that. I literally still get messages about the person that it blew up on, and I'm like, I don't want to be. I don't want this to like keep. I wanted to see if it was going to be something like on its own before I blew, and that was probably a point of dissection on that relationship, but that's fine. It ended anyways. But yeah, I think it's definitely.
Do you have any contact with him?
No.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. No.
Let me ask you this. I'm going to interrupt you again. Yeah. Sorry. So ADD.
Squirrel.
Right. Do you also feel a different, like, in regards to these new guys, whenever you do get into a relationship and it's serious, meeting your son?
Yeah, that's very
like. Had that guy met your son?
The last person I did casually, not in the setting of this is my boyfriend.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, this guy's around, but he's not like.
Yeah, and there were mutual friends and all that, so it just wasn't a big thing. But yeah, I am not one of those girls that. I mean, you do you, boo boo. But I am not going to be. There's not going to be like a revolving door. Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
you don't want to do that to him either. It's not fair to him.
It's confusing, and he's so emotional. He gets invested, and
the last thing you want is be like, well, Josh isn't coming around anymore, or Jim is,
done.
Got hit by a bus.
Oh, weird. Allegedly. So yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
No, I don't blame you.
And his dad is the same way, courtesy wise. We don't. Yeah, we kind of have a thing. We just don't. Yeah, It just isn't a good look.
I had another question, but I lost it. Dang it.
Dang.
But
It'll come back.
it's along the same lines of like with like your son. I'm trying to put myself back there. Like it was about your son and like, it'll come back.
Yeah,
But
it'll come back. Yeah.
either way, like the fact that like I feel like that's a lot of pressure too. Like,
is a
hey,
lot of
like,
pressure.
remember, when you're dating. So I listened to this podcast, and the guy is a single dad,
Okay.
and he has
What's his number? No, I'm just kidding.
he lives in Austin, Texas. Do you want to move
Even
to Austin?
better. No, I just don't want anyone to be around me that much.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Well, he's a podcaster. That's his whole first full-time job.
Okay.
Single dad. He has a great relationship with the mom. They just figured out that they
Okay.
weren't meant to be together.
Yeah.
And they both split, and she's in a happy marriage now, and
Love
and they have a great co-parenting situation. And one of the listeners wrote into one of their listener questions episodes and asked, how soon do you disclose the fact that you have a child already with a previous marriage?
Her second time I meet. I mean, let's set the second I meet someone.
The second you meet someone.
Yeah.
I have a do you almost have to present it not as a disclaimer, like, hey, I have a previous marriage and I have a child?
Yeah.
Does that turn people away?
If it does, then good. God took the trash out.
Damn, you heard it here first, folks. God took the trash out.
And God will.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He will take the trash out if you can't.
Damn.
100%.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah. But it's true, right? If you can't accept that my son will literally always come before you, we don't even need to.
If your ego can't stand that. Yeah. Not even getting a triple dipper with you.
Not even worth it. I can buy my own meal. Yeah. I am so, if you can't understand that I have him, all during the week, my weekends could look crazy. I'm going to be at every ball game. We're going to do all that. If that's not on your radar of acceptance, then why even get started?
Not even going to start.
No, waste of my time. No, I don't date just to. I am
have a person.
No,
you are comfortable alone.
I love being alone.
Same here.
Yeah.
Which sucks when you're married.
Yeah, it's hard. That does have a conflict.
Because people would be surprised, as social of a dude as I am, I love to shut the door, shut the blinds.
People like us, I'm like an extroverted introvert.
Like for the rest of the day today, I don't want to talk to anybody.
No one. No.
Nobody.
I'm going to probably take myself out to lunch after this. And then my son comes home at 6:00. I'm going to sit and quiet and watch Bridgerton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, did a new season drop?
It did. Yeah.
Okay, good. Mm-hmm. I told my wife that it didn't. And hey, wife, well, by the time you're hearing this, you probably already binged it. But it came out.
It's out. I don't waste my time, and I won't waste yours.
Yeah.
Dumb.
Especially, like, not to draw attention to the fact that you're 15 years older than me. No, just 10.
Okay.
Just 10.
Casual.
Never mind. Sometimes I forget. No, sometimes I forget that I'm not 23 anymore.
Every day, I'm like, time is an illusion because at best I'm 26.
Right.
Like the
other day, someone was like, you're closer to 30 than you are to.
I had a big deal with like the 38th birthday. I just turned 38, and I'm like, shit, that is closer to 40.
Yeah.
Because 37, you could still be like, I'm in my mid 30s.
Mid 30s.
Like,
that's
it.
Like
at the end of the mid 30s, but like now, no, I can't say that anymore. Because when I was in school and math actually was math and not this like weird thing that they're trying to teach kids now.
Right.
You round it up.
Right.
So like. Now I'm 60.
Oh my God. I fight with my wife sometimes on the math that they teach kids now. The other day she was like, do that math problem. And I did it out. And she was like, that's not how you do it anymore. And I was like, what do you mean anymore? Math is math.
Yeah, why is it different?
There's this joke in I think it's the second Incredibles movie where he's sitting down with his kid and he's like, math is math. Why are we changing math?
Why? I didn't get it the first time.
Why are we
trying to
in the way that they teach it now? It's so hard.
It's so hard. So I'm like, I'm just gonna have to get a tutor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to keep making good money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause I'm not going to be the one. Oh, I know. But yeah, no, no, I'm not here for wasting anyone's time or energy. And I surely to God don't need mine wasted anymore.
No. Mm-mm. You're at the point now where it's like, move it or lose it.
Yeah. And it's just also like, if you're not bringing so much value to my life, like I know what I bring to the table, and I think there's a lot of, and it's not like in a boastful way.
Sure. Yeah.
I have a good career. I'm a good person. I love my kid a whole lot. I'm not like an evil human being wanting to like hurt people. I I genuinely want good in the world. And so then it's like if you're not coming to like make my life easier,
Yeah.
I
If
am
you're not
surely not signing up for you to make it harder.
right.
I've done that. I got the t-shirt. You know what I mean? So it's just like I want to be like adored and I want my life to be made easier. And if you can't do that, then there's no room for it.
I'm going to ask you a question that is going to sound, I don't want to say dickish,
Okay.
but I'm going to ask you a question, but you need to
Coin
know,
that.
however it comes off, know that it's not meant to come that way.
Not
I'm just
meaning to be a
asking,
dick, just
no,
genuine
just
curiosity.
genuinely curiosity.
Go.
So earlier you said something about like you have this need, or not need, but you want someone to be like, I got it.
Yeah.
Do you almost think that the next, not like casual relationship you have, but the next like serious relationship you have,
Yeah.
do you almost think that there's a big, I don't want to say like, there's a high bar that this person's got to meet?
Yeah.
Like, do you ever think that, I don't want to
All
say
the
that you're
time.
doing that person a
Like a disservice.
disservice,
Yeah.
but like, do you think that you're setting, do you ever think that you're sometimes setting him up for failure?
And for like me to just live let down.
Well,
Yeah.
right. Like
Yeah.
I don't want that to come off a weird way,
Not
but
at
like,
all.
do you,
Because
you know
I
what I'm
thought about
saying?
that. I joke all the time. I'm like, the bar is so low, but so high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you need
Because
to
I've
be
been
able.
done so dirty that I'm like,
Yeah.
it's not even that hard
Yeah.
to like be with me. I'm actually like, you could just be like a nice human and you're already winning. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like not screw me over and
Yeah.
not screw other people.
Yeah.
And you're already winning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like I'm sure there will be like a struggle of trust,
Like finding that balance
like fighting
again.
the balance again from being so independent to like trusting that someone's going to take care of me. And I think men want to be caretaker, like not a caretaker.
Sure.
I think they struggle with that, but they want to take care of, they want to
They want to take care of.
they want to fix it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think, and even when you're communicating with the man, it's like, I don't need you to fix it right now. I'm
Right.
just talking
I just want
to
to
you.
talk.
I just want to talk.
Me and my wife, to interrupt you,
Yeah.
do this great thing whenever we're talking or whenever I vent.
Do you want me to fix it or do you want
me to listen? And
Yes.
it's amazing.
Yes, it
I
changes
love
the
it.
trajectory of how you're communicating,
Yep.
right? And how you're listening. Yeah.
Yep. Sometimes I'll be like, I need to vent. I don't need your opinion.
Yeah.
When I'm done, I'll say I'm done. Then you can give the opinion.
Yeah.
Or let it marinate for a day. Then let's come back
Yeah.
tomorrow at dinner, and then
Right.
you can give me the
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah,
And it
for
works
sure.
so well.
It does. But again, communication. Yeah. You have to be like ready for that. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how I have a hard time. I've dated two people since my separation. And it was both like, how can I, like, you have to trust me to take care of it. And then they both ended up flopping miserably. So, you know, I'm like, well, that's why I do everything. So it's like validation to my walls up, probably. But
How
it's
do
okay.
you, so how do you date? What is,
I don't.
really?
No.
So how, when these two relationships happen,
Yeah.
or situationships, as people sometimes call them, like how did
They
they,
were relationships. Yeah, they were.
how did they get to that?
Well, one I met online and the other through mutual friends.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do people, this is maybe an annoying part of being a single parent.
Tried to set me up.
Oh yeah. Do people just, you should date my friend. Oh, you should do this.
Well, it's
like,
interesting too, though, because at our age, so many are married.
yeah.
Yeah. So there's not like a whole lot of like, you got to meet my friend.
Yeah.
Because most of like my friends' husbands' friends are married.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, it's interesting. Most of them are like, God, if I were you, I'd never date again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, facts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm fine to be.
And you
there.
hate the first date. We talked about that
It's
earlier.
just so uncomfortable. It's like you're sitting there and like,
Yeah.
you're funny. You're
You know what's
not.
crazy is, and I kind of can bring this back to what we were saying earlier, is like, so I loved first dates. When I was
Yeah.
single, I loved them. And I was a
Okay.
little bit of a man whore. I
Okay.
dated around. I
Own
did a
it.
lot. I own it now.
Own it now.
And I had a lot of trouble when I first got into my relationship with Catherine because it came, like, you know, the cheesy thing, they always come around when you least expect it. And it did.
Yeah.
She did. And I had trouble at the beginning of our relationship adjusting to being with just one person.
Yeah.
And it was really tough. And there was a moment where she was like, move it or lose it. because
you
I
should.
deserve better.
Facts.
And then
Know your worth, queen. Know
exactly.
Your worth.
And she broke up with me.
Good.
And then the next morning I woke up with a panic attack and I was like, I need her back.
Yeah.
So, and that's how it stuck. But I was a man whore and I dated around a lot and I loved the first date. Like it was almost like a weird man whorish way. Like it was like a hunger.
Yeah.
Like I loved the first date.
I can see that.
Because similar to this, I love conversating. I love getting to know who you are and how you got here.
Yeah.
So like I would sit down and I had been kind of podcasting at that point. So like I was sitting down and like almost interviewing these girls and some of them loved it and some of them hated it.
I'm sure.
Yeah. And I always I did all the things that they said not to do. Like they always say like, don't go to a wing restaurant on your first date because you're seeing them get like icky with wings. So I had go-to spots. Okay. First day spots were Taco Mac so I could have chicken. It was all selfish. I always wanted to go where I wanted to go. Looking back. Yeah. Therapy has done so much good for me.
Everyone should have a therapist.
It has done so much good for me because I can own all of my shittiest qualities.
I always say I'm painfully self-aware.
Oh.
It's so frustrating.
So to the point where some people are like, why do you self-deprecate so much?
So much, yeah.
And I'm like, I just feel like if you can't make fun of yourself.
Yeah, like you got to do it before someone else does.
Right.
Yeah. Like even being here. I wanted to do this forever and this is so cool.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, well, and I have like a core group of just hype girls, you know, and they're like, no, you have something to bring to the table.
Yeah.
It was presented for a reason.
Yeah.
So walk in like you own it.
Yeah.
Like do it.
And you've done swimmingly, by the way. This is fantastic. You're very natural.
Thanks. I'm having fun.
Good. I'm so glad. And sometimes I do this thing where I start a sentence and we go off on a tangent and then I forget where we were going.
Yeah, you were talking about first dates and Taco Mac and the wings.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So Taco Mac's one of the places. All about me.
Yeah.
Mellow mushroom.
Okay.
Because I love pizza.
Okay.
And another thing, people are like, don't eat pizza on a first date because it can be messy and like you can argue about what toppings go on it.
Oh, yeah.
Does pineapple belong on pizza?
I think with Canadian bacon, it can be really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Heard. Mm-hmm. Good. Anyway.
Not every pizza deserves it.
No. Not at all.
No.
So now when you do go on first dates, when they happen, what's a typical first date like?
Yeah. I usually like a dinner somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, and it depends too. Like and it's such a weird generational thing too. Cause it's like, we were raised like the boy picks you up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
But now with online dating, I'm like, no,
I'll meet you there.
I'll meet you there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. In a well-lit parking lot. And at least 14 friends have my notification.
Right.
Yep.
Everyone knows my location.
Everyone knows my location at all times. And
I've got pepper spray in my pocket.
I'm on a date. Yeah. Or more.
Yeah.
I'll come for you.
Hey.
If it's me or you, it's you.
What you got in there?
I'm just saying.
Yeah, for real, no.
So
even when I was dating, I was always like, listen, I'll meet you there or I'll pick you up, whatever makes you comfy.
Yeah, it's it definitely is different now. Because you don't know.
Because I want to be the gentleman that I was told to be by my mom, and
Good job, Mom.
but
shout out to Mom.
But like there was a level of me like, and like when I went on my first date with Catherine, I was like, "Can I pick you up?" And she's like, "Yes." And I'm like, "Okay, take it to the next step. Do you want me to come to the door?"
Oh.
And she was like, "No." And at the time, she lived with her aunt and uncle, and she's like, "No, I don't want you to meet my aunt and uncle.
Weird.
That's weird."
On a first date.
On a first date.
Fifth
so
date,
she was like, "I'll just come to you."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay." But like, I want to be that guy.
Yeah.
And like, it's the older generation that's like, kids these days don't even pick people up on the front door anymore.
Think that there's something to it that like chivalry has. It's like I want to be this like strong, independent woman, but there's so many soft parts of me too.
But you want me to open the door for you.
Yes.
For sure.
And I want you to walk on the traffic side of the parking of the street.
Yes. That's something I never thought of. Mm-hmm. And my wife was like, I love that you do this. And I was like, I don't do it intentionally.
Yeah.
But now that you've pointed that out.
Yeah. Someone taught you.
Someone at some point was like, you should be the one that watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know. But yeah, I want those things still done. Yeah. But like I want to be empowered and make my own money and rule the world too.
You know what? Another thing that she pointed out to me a while ago that again, I just don't, whenever we meet somewhere like after work and we're both in our own cars, she loves that I follow her home. She doesn't follow me home.
Yeah. You lead.
And I was like, oh, I don't do that intentionally.
Or like you walk her to her car and make sure she gets in her car. Okay. And then
and then I go to mine.
To your car.
Yes.
Correct. That's the only way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe it's something that I was taught, or maybe it's just a natural instinct.
Yeah.
But my mom
But I
or
think
my dad
too-
treated my mom really well as a kid, so maybe I remember.
I'm sure you just kids follow by example,
Mhm.
not so much what you tell them.
Yeah.
It's the example you set, which is the daunting part of parenting. I was like, oh God, they're watching all of it.
I love that you're just as open to share, kind of like what we were talking about with social media earlier. You're just as open to share the struggles.
Yeah, and I think that's where the
of it all.
connection is.
Yeah.
Yeah. No one wants to feel like everybody has it together.
Yeah.
Where everyone is in some, even if your marriage is perfect and you make good money and whatever, something was hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something's got to be hard.
Something complete. Not
forget-
that I hope hard on people, but like,
I forget what I was. Maybe it was something that you posted or someone posted something the other day, and it was just like, what do you think about people, those couples that say, oh, we don't argue? Like the
They're
couples that say,
lying.
oh, we don't argue or we don't fight.
Someone's lying.
Someone's lying, or someone is unfaithful.
100%.
Or
What do you think
someone
about couples
is-
that have the same Facebook account?
Burn.
Yeah, right.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. When it's like, when I see the guy's name and the woman's name, I'm like, oh, he cheated
This
every time. She caught him in someone else's DMs every
Ooh,
time instantly. Think
really?
that. Yeah.
I always just thought it was like a cheesy, like, oh, this is a way that we can share our lives together.
Ew, no. If that's true, even more ick. Ugh. Gross. Sorry.
I do like
I don't
that
wanna offend
Instagram now
anyone.
lets you do that thing where you can like collaborate with someone and it's
Yes.
like both accounts post
I
it.
just had a reel with one of my best friends, Catherine.
Yeah.
Not your wife, but she wants to do a reel.
Could
We'll
be.
do one. Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah. Pop off. And it's at like almost 100,000 views, which is so fun on Instagram.
100,000.
Yeah, I have one dumb one. It's always the dumb ones that I don't try with, but
Yep.
I did this funny Morgan Wallen one and it's almost to 800,000 views. And I'm just like, why is this the one thing that like
Is that the
popped
one
up?
that you, sorry to cut you off.
No,
Is that
you
the one that you
didn't.
posted the other day
No, you
about
didn't.
post?
No.
Okay.
It's like this other one and I think it's funny. But he got arrested for throwing a chair.
Yeah.
Off a bar. Yeah. So I put his song on in the background and I
Oh, I
did
saw
like the
it.
squat position. And so many, it's funny. And I got a couple bad comments like, oh, he's horrible. I'm like, oh my God, people take social media way too seriously. It's
way too
funny,
seriously.
Karen.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Laugh a little.
Get a sense of humor. God. But yeah, so that was fun. But yeah,
Yeah.
but stuff like that is like interesting. Social media is a funny tool. There's so much to learn about algorithms. There's so much to learn, which you'll never learn. The
I'm
second
so
you learn
exhausted.
something, it's so exhausting trying to figure it out. But people don't realize it's a machine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when you start trying to make it a business, it gets complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just when things start to work for you, they change.
They completely change. And then they go to the opposite of what you've been doing.
Mhm.
And then it's like, you got to be in that weird limbo of like, why isn't this working? And then you got to like shift it always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pain. I was just talking about this with someone the other day because they asked me about like running ads on Instagram and Facebook.
Mhm.
Hate it because Facebook changes their algorithm and
Yeah.
their business suite user interface. They change it like every 4 months and they're like, hey,
Yeah.
this has changed. This
Yeah.
is where this is now.
Yeah.
And they wonder why people just run Google ads for their businesses
and I will
now.
say I work harder now than I've ever worked before on my social media. It takes more effort now to grow social media than it did 2 or 3 years ago. 100%. And I don't know if I would have stuck it out. Like if I were to start now and it would be like, I'm so thankful that I have like the established network that I have.
Mhm.
And the people that root for me and the people that like just support me. I'm so thankful for them because it's literally directly correlated to my life being changed. So it's fascinating, but I thank God every day. But it's sharing struggles. It's sharing that it's messy. It's sharing that it's complicated. It's sharing that it's not perfectly unfiltered.
Is there any chance in hell
Yeah.
that you go back to working for someone else?
I mean, if this ever falls apart someday, I would have to.
Mhm.
But if it's my choice, no.
If things go according to plan.
If things go to my plan, I will be. Yeah, I will never have to.
When people ask you, what do you do? How do you say it?
I always think that's interesting too, because it like sounds.
I'm a
funky.
content creator.
Yeah, and I don't. Is that what it is?
I'm an
I'm an influencer. That feels weird too. I just say like I'm in social media networking.
Okay.
Social media sales. It is.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. That's always weird. Like I think too, guys, when I am dating, they're like weird. Or like I had
Really?
one guy reply back. He was like, "Oh, so you're in a pyramid scheme?" And I was like, "Well, I'm not dating you now." I was like, "Well, I'm not dating you now."
I was going to ask you if people ever ask if it's a pyramid
Yes.
scheme.
Yeah.
Because I asked that one girl.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
is this a pyramid scheme?
Yeah.
And she was like, no.
Mm-hmm. No.
Cutco is a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, and those are illegal.
Yes.
First of all.
Yes.
Yeah. So how our company specifically works, and that's all I can talk to.
Yeah.
Right. Is that you sign up, it's 100% free. So like a lot of those other companies have like kits, quotas,
you have
things
to
buy in, or you pay a monthly fee.
That company was one of them.
Okay. So ours is 100% free.
Okay.
It is structured just like to Know It or Amazon affiliate. So you share something you like and you automatically make money once that's purchased.
Yes.
Right. That is that cut and dry. It is very simple. Or just like selling anything. If you go to buy a shirt at Target, there is a wholesale price and a retail price. Someone's making money.
Yep.
Okay. So that's how our company is structured. You share a link or you share a product, someone buys it, you make money. So in the beginning, that is exactly what it was. Then you can make more money once you are certain titles, once you have a team, but there's no requirement to do so. And so I'm not making any money if people just sign up and do nothing. I do get paid a percentage off of my team.
Sure.
But I work very hard at building that and helping that.
Yeah, to get to that point.
To get to that point, yes.
So
I just look at it as like, if you're in a real estate company or if you are an account manager for something and then that team hits a sales goal,
right,
you get a
reward. Yeah.
You get a reward. Yeah. In corporate America is the biggest pyramid scheme of all time.
Yeah.
But everyone is so deluded to believe that your boss is going to make more, their boss is going to make more, their boss is going to make way more. But the difference is at any point I can make more than the girl above me.
Yeah.
And that I can make more than the 5 girls above me. That's my goal.
Mm-hmm.
Because that would be like generational wealth. So like that, I want to be better than them and they want me to be better than them. Yeah. That's like the whole point. So at any point I can go do that.
That's amazing. I feel like I'm asking all these questions because my wife is a teacher. Okay. And so she's about to be free for 2.5 months.
Does she want to come sling with me?
We've talked so much about this because she's like, in last summer she was getting her master's degree. So she got that. And now this summer she's completely free. She's like, what do I do? And I'm like, you should take something up. Yeah. Figure something out. Yeah. And, we did a little, I didn't do an intentional experiment with this a few years ago, but my experience with making money on social media was interesting. Yeah. So a few years ago, this product launched and it was called the Frost Buddy. Have you seen this? No. So it's essentially one of those Yeti's the easiest thing I can use to describe it, but it's like an insulator that you would put a drink in and, it's almost like a koozie, Okay. A Yeti has the ones that whatever. But this is a universal koozie that can hold a seltzer can, an energy drink can, a bottle, a water, any size can. Yeah. And it was some company I saw on TikTok. So I was like, oh, that's super cool. So I reached out to them and they were so young at the time. Yeah. And they were like, hey, here's an affiliate link. Just put it in, your social media. And if someone buys one, great. If not, no biggie. We'll pay you an X amount of percentage for it. And it was the same thing. There's no kit. There's no nothing. You're an affiliate or whatever.
That's what ours is.
So I didn't do a bunch like stuff that you do. I didn't do like videos of me using it. I didn't do all of that. But instead I was just like, because I was, again, lazy. Yeah. I'm very lazy.
You have to, yeah.
So what I did was I just talked about it on my podcast. Okay. So I was like, use code Logan for 15% off your Frost Buddy or whatever. Yeah. And a lot of people nowadays use these browser extensions like Honey to get coupons off of whatever. And it browses the internet, looking for a coupon code. Yeah. And so there was like a 2-month stretch where I think Honey was populating my coupon code because I didn't really talk about it on my social media accounts. I just put it in the description of my podcast and that's being uploaded to iTunes and Spotify. Yeah. So I think Honey was using my promo code and I made like $3,000 in 2 months. And it was crazy because I was like, oh my God. Happening? It got to the point where they cut off their affiliate program because they were paying me so much.
I would be so sad if
they were so young that they were like, we can't afford this anymore. They were like, we'll pay you out, but after that's
your code's done.
Your code's done. And I was like, they're like, this is so much that we have to send you a 1099.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. But after that, I was like, oh my God, I could do this. Yeah. And I wonder if they're doing the promo again because the product is awesome.
Yeah. That's what it is too. It's like I just and now that I'm like in it, but I was a customer first and I just genuinely loved it.
Right.
And so then it was just so easy. And then I was like, I can make that much money just talking about stuff. What?
That you genuinely
That
like.
I genuinely use and
it's
like.
not bullshit.
No. I use it all. I use it every day. And it's just, yeah, it's easy. It's easy. And I also, I don't want to say it in a way, but I sell the business of it too, because it 100% has changed my life.
Yeah.
So that's not a sell.
Yeah.
I said sell the business, but it's not a sell for me because I'm like, I've seen firsthand.
It's not
what it
selling when you believe in it,
Facts.
when you have been blessed by it.
Sure. And I think that's the hard thing too, also with social media, is people are used to instant gratification and people are used to having a job that like, well, I work and they pay.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to take time to build your social media. You have to start sharing things that you actually like and you want to share. And if you're not doing that ahead of time, you got to kind of build that trust. So sometimes it's not so instant, and that's where people quit. You know what I mean? I put up one post and I want to make $5,000.
Right.
Since I didn't do that, it's just not meant for me.
Right.
There have been weeks that I've gone that haven't sold anything. There have been people that I thought were going to do this with me forever, and they quit the team because whatever happens, they got to go focus on something else, and whatever, you go do you, that's your life. Right. Yeah. And but at the end of the day, I refuse to quit, because if there's like this picture, and it was like it's a guy like in a gold mine or in a diamond mine or something like that, and he's like chipping away at it, and it was like right when you get ready to quit, and like right where he quit, where like the diamonds are on the other side of it. Right. And it's just like, I just believe that if I never quit, it'll just keep getting bigger. Right. Yeah. Because why not?
Like that, I relate to that so much, because there's been years that I will go through ups and downs with like the podcast. Yeah. Like there will be years that there'll be weeks that 5 people listen to an episode, or there's weeks that 500 people listen, and I won't stop. Yeah. And people are like, "Oh, you're still doing that?" Sure am. Yeah. Sure as hell I am.
Sure am.
Because at the end of the day,
when you want to be a guest. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I always say, like, this drove me so much in my beginning. I want to be so successful that people are offended.
Like, I want to roll up to the birthday party and they're like, Jesus, he's driving that brand new whatever. Right.
This bitch.
He paid for everyone's first round because it doesn't even hurt him. Doesn't even matter.
No.
That makes it sound, it makes me sound a little shitty. Like, it's not money. We'll get into this a little bit later, but it's not money that's the success for me. Like, sure, money is great.
I love
I love money.
I love it so much.
But what I love more than money is the not to worry about money. Freedom.
Yes.
Financial freedom.
I'm chasing the freedom. Not even just financial, right?
Just period.
Same.
Like I want to get to the point where like my parents and like your parents, they paid for your college. Yeah. And they wouldn't have had it any other way. They paid for your college because they want the best for you.
And they went without.
Yeah.
So that I could do that.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. Like they took sacrifices on their end.
Yeah.
Like my sister just graduated, so it's his last kid out of college, and he was like, "I'm about to go
a raise."
Right. That's exactly what he says. He's just like, "I'm happy. I just got a raise." Yeah. And I just, he's like, "I'm going to go buy myself this exotic sports car now. Like I'm thrilled."
Yeah.
And he did. And he's like,
good for him.
And he's like, "This is me and your mom's time to shine now."
I hope they enjoy it.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Because before they know it, there'll be grandkids.
I know. Then they'll go back to just spending all the money on them. Yeah. Yes. I can remember in high school, my mom would literally clean houses, and she would clean on the weekends and businesses so she could afford to put me in volleyball.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So there's no other way. You just figure it out as a parent. But yeah, I want to just be so free that like I just get to do it all and I don't apologize for it. It's like our word for this. I'm just so unapologetic. Yeah. I will not be made to feel small, seem small, play small. And I'm not going to apologize if you feel small in my presence. That's not anything to do with me.
Do you ever have the people that, like, I have a few people in my life that are my friends, but they'll make comments like, "So how's the whole podcast thing going?" And they almost ask it from like a condescending way. And it's just like, good, fuck you. Yeah. Like, don't worry about it.
Honestly, I'm so thankful. No.
Nobody has treats you like that?
No. I think they're all so happy.
That's amazing. I love that.
I truly, they might say it behind my back.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
but that's not my problem either. Or people that don't have the balls to say that to my face. Yeah, they might. But no, my core group of friends, like they were my first customers. They were my first people. Anytime we're on vacation together, they'll use the stuff with me and be in my videos and talk about it. Like, and that circle is small and that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I'm so lucky to have like really good humans like that just, there's like a core group of us from high school that are all in on like
just empowering each other.
Yeah. I mean, when my ex moved out, they were the first, Ashley was the first one to come over and help me change the locks with her power tools. And she, was over there helping me fix the garage code, do
Amazing.
all that stuff and take like a group of them, our high school group chat, my besties, like they came over and helped me take the pictures off the walls. That's hard. That is so hard to take your wedding murals off the wall, when someone's left you. And
especially doing it by yourself, but having your core group of girls there with you to do it with you, to help you through the tears. Like even if you're sitting there crying on the couch and they're the ones taking it off.
100%. That was it. Yeah. I was the one sitting on the floor and I couldn't do it. And they came over and they showed up. And that's really important. It's so easy to be in someone's front row when they're winning or on the stage. That's that's easy friendship. Yeah. But when it's, I don't know that I can get up today.
Like it's almost, it makes you think like, who are the ones, I've always said this, and this is such like I said, therapy has done great things for me. And it's made me realize that I have an attention seeking problem. I like validation from people.
I love validation also.
So I always say it's the ones, this is so silly, the ones that text you or call you on your birthday are the real people that you want in your life. Because there's people that'll come around and they'll come and go and they're like, oh yeah, I'm so happy for you. Are you?
Yeah.
Are you really?
Yeah. Mine is the people that reach out to me when I'm quiet.
Yeah. That's true.
Because I'm never quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My brother also
today, you're not replying. What's wrong?
He does a lot of social video media. He's like a car version of you. He sells like products for vehicles and like cool like underglow lights and headlights and all these kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah.
And when he stops posting,
that's me.
It makes me think that something's wrong.
Yes.
So that's when I'll reach out.
Yes. Like if I haven't posted like in my stories or on my wall, or if I'm quiet in the group chat or something like that, like those people that side text from the group chat.
Those are the real ones.
Those are the real ones.
That's amazing.
Absolutely. You're quiet today. What's up?
What's wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially when you have from what I've known you for an hour and a half, the personalities we have.
Yeah.
It's like, if you are quiet,
yes,
that's someone who actually cares. Who's like, hey, I've noticed you've been kind of like when I was doing my social media absence.
Yeah.
Somebody hit me up and they're like, hey, I noticed you haven't posted a lot lately. Are you all right?
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that's very nice.
That's very nice of you.
Very kind of you to ask. Yes, I'm great, but thank you so much for asking.
Yeah.
Like truly.
Yeah.
Like the ones that I was going to say something that was going to get me in trouble.
Oh, well,
well, some people that, well, no, I can't.
Yeah, we don't need people calling and crying about
it.
Yeah,
but they probably won't hear this anyway, but
But it's like the people that walk in when everyone else walks out. That's where like the true grit of like adult friendship is. I mean, everyone has like on the surface.
Sure.
Yeah. Duh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's whatever. But who checks on you whenever it's quiet? And oftentimes those are my parents too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Haven't heard from you in a couple of days.
Yeah.
So that's when it definitely gets to be on a real friendship basis.
I don't have a kid yet, but I'm assuming it's like the friends that will show up for your son's t-ball games.
Absolutely.
Like those are the ones.
Or like my kid's birthday party.
Right.
Yeah.
Like some of my friends just had a 1-year-old birthday party for their kid, and me and my wife were the first ones at the front door.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, I'm here to hang out with your 1-year-old.
Yeah.
Like, let's go.
Let's do it.
Like, I don't care if we're changing the diapers or feeding them. Like, we got you.
Yeah. Those are like the true friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting the older you get. Dynamics shift and life gets so real. It's so easy to be friends when it's like, oh, let's meet at margaritas on the patio. Like that's fun friendship. But but
it might be surface level.
Yeah, which is fine. But like, I think too, when you're in your 20s, you think that that's the deep stuff. These are my friends, you know, and then flash forward 10 years, your husband leaves you for another woman. You're sitting at home with your 3-year-old. You don't know what to do. And you're like, I don't know how I'm going to get up. I don't know what I'm going to do. And they're like the ones, making sure I've eaten, they're sending dinner. They're they're changing out locks for me.
They're doing laundry for you when you can't move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that is the people that pick you up when you fell apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is what you will need.
Yeah.
You're not meant to do life alone, whether that's with a partner or friends or, I think there's something so special. I say to them all that, like, you don't have to have a man as your soulmate.
Yeah.
Screw that.
Your friend can be your soulmate.
Friends can absolutely be your soulmate. Your kid can be your soulmate. And you can.
Yeah. Soulmate does not have to be mutually exclusive to like a lover.
Either. Right. Like, you have people you're supposed to be with.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's who, you lean on. Life is rough, man. It is hard. Even when it's beautiful, it can be hard. They can both exist. And I think sometimes too, that's a really hard struggle.
Yeah. Life can be so amazing, but so difficult at the same time.
Yeah. And that would accurately describe like the last 6 months. Like it can be, but, and then on the flip side of that, to have a social media thing, you're smiling online. No, you never know what someone's going through.
Yeah. No, never.
Ever. Ever.
Robin Williams, case in point, the most positive person on the planet, committed suicide.
I know. And I think there's like almost, I won't say pressure, maybe pressure is the right word, to be online and smile and like, it's so perfect.
Hey,
and
guys.
Life is so great and all that. And then no one knows really what's going on. Yeah. It's interesting too. And I think sometimes just because my brain can be sociologically, because it is fascinating to me, like the watching of people. Yeah. People are fascinating.
Absolutely.
But it's like, you never know what people, even look at marriages on social media. Love of my life. Couldn't breathe without him. Oh my God. And then all of a sudden his profile picture is just him at the lake and wife's not in the profile picture anymore. And then they're no longer friends on social media. You know what I mean? Like it's just all an optical illusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sad
but true. I've lived it. Perfect. Like little online couple, and then
one day, nothing.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that nowadays, like when that does happen, we all just know, oh, they broke up. Yeah. Something happened.
And then I need to know why. Like, let's normalize telling everybody why.
Like back one of my first relationships, my girlfriend at the time would let her know she was mad at me by changing her profile picture on Twitter.
Oh, I've been that passive aggressive.
And it sucked so bad, but it made me get to the point where like, if she uploaded a photo without me, I was like manipulated and so down. Cause I was like, what's wrong? And she's like, oh, nothing's wrong. And I'm like, but really? Like,
but it's true though. Social media like that can dictate so many different like facets of life when it's like, it could be like, it's not that serious. I didn't even think about that. But someone could take it so offensively. Yeah. But it does dictate so much of the show. I know. It's weird. Like, how someone is every day and how their marriage is and how their kids are and what they're doing and what they're eating, where they're going. All of it. It's wild.
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
So there comes to a point in every conversation I have with everybody that I, as much as you hate first dates, ask every guest the same grouping of first date questions. And it's like if I'm sitting across from you or Tom Hanks, I'm going to ask you guys the same group of questions. I'm going to ask Tom Hanks these questions. One day. I'm manifesting that, talking to Tom Hanks. That'd be great. Or Chris Pratt, because I've been tagging him every single day on my Instagram.
I like him more than Tom Hanks.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
So with that said, are you ready for these questions? They can be rapid fire if you want them to, or they can be discussed if we need to discuss.
Okay.
Cool. Number 1, what is your favorite movie?
Pretty Woman.
That's Catherine's favorite movie.
Everything. It's fine. It is true though.
Yeah, it's facts.
Know. Where's my guy on the white horse? Just saying.
This is part A and a part B to this one. Part A, do you believe in aliens?
Sometimes.
Okay.
A little.
Do you believe in, this is part B, do you believe in the supernatural or ghosts?
Yes.
Okay. Definite on that one.
Definite on that one.
Have you experienced things?
No. Do you mean like ghosts or like that there's an afterlife and maybe we have people watching us? Like, do you mean people that are like
do you think someone could be, do you think someone could be chilling in that chair over there?
Sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Me too. Good stuff.
Hopefully it's like my grandma and she's watching over me,
Right.
proud of me. That's
Right.
what I would like to tell myself, not like a scary demon in the
Right.
corner.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
If it was that, then I'd be like, let's go.
Yeah.
We'll finish this somewhere else.
We'll just,
Yeah.
We'll take a lap outside.
Yeah.
Get some fresh air. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So that's how I like to believe.
What's your coffee order? If you drink it. And you do.
Every day, every morning. Yeah. I'm so basic. French vanilla, coffee.
There we go.
Every day.
Let's go.
I'm a creature of habit.
Amen.
Yeah.
Do you have any allergies?
Just seasonal here and there. But no, I don't.
The pollen.
Yeah.
Death.
Oh, God. It's like out here. Yeah.
Rank these 3 dips in the order of most I love it so much to I could do without it.
Person. Okay. I'm very excited about this question.
All right. Number 1, queso, guac, and salsa.
Oh, okay.
Rank them.
Okay. Guac, queso, salsa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good deal. Good answer.
Yeah.
Where do you consume music? Spotify or Apple Music or Amazon?
Apple Music.
Okay. Hell yeah. Let's go.
Yeah.
Apple
and I
Music.
pay every freaking month because if I want a song, I want to download it immediately.
Yes.
Yeah. So I pay the $9.99 a month because I don't want anyone to tell me I can't have something.
Yep.
Yep.
Amen.
Yep. If I like the song, if I see it on TikTok or if I see it wherever, I want to download it and I want it in my thing right then.
Which us Apple Music people need to unite because the Spotify community is very mean to the Apple Music community.
Oh, is it a thing?
Oh,
it's like Crips versus.
Oh yeah, it is.
I didn't
it's
know.
like Coke or Pepsi, and if you're like, oh, I listen to Apple Music, they're like, okay, weirdo.
Pansy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, is it like that?
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
crap.
People are like, if you ask your girls in your group chat who listens on what platform, if you say Apple Music, they will judge you.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What if we all listen to Apple Music?
Then you're all
basic.
Then you're all amazing.
The same basic.
Then you're all freaking people I want to have in my life.
Okay.
Because all my friends are Spotify people.
No, I think
and
we're
they
all
discriminate against me.
Music people.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
I think so.
I love that for you.
Yeah.
It's amazing. On the same wavelength of music, you are organizing a music festival.
Okay.
And it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Who are your 3 headliners?
Justin Timberlake.
Okay.
Out hesitation. But then he also has to bring out NSYNC. Does that count as 1 or 2?
Sure, you can use that as 1.
Okay.
Justin Timberlake is the main act.
And then
but
NSYNC.
Then later on in the act, he's like, I got a surprise for you guys.
I got a surprise for you.
Yes, okay.
That's it.
Yeah, okay.
I don't need literally anyone else.
Justin Timberlake.
And NSYNC.
And NSYNC. Awesome. It's great. That's great.
I think that would be it. Yeah, everyone else, not needed.
Okay.
Who could follow that? No one.
They would have to be the headliner of the last day. Or the first day, or just all 3 nights.
Yes.
Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, he can
and
play.
NSYNC.
Yes, yeah, that would.
He does his catalog first half of the show.
Yeah.
Then he leaves.
And not any of the weird music. Like I need for him to let some of it go.
Yeah.
No one. Like play Future Sex Loves. Like play Sexy.
Yeah.
Play the good.
Yeah. Play the good shit.
Leave the weird stuff.
Yeah.
Out. Stop trying to make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you just bring NSYNC for the next 2 nights.
Yes, that's great.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That would be it.
What's the go-to karaoke song? And if you don't do karaoke, what's a song you can belt from your heart?
Any of the aforementioned. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still know like the dances of NSYNC. It's like
Oh my
ingrained
God.
in our soul when we were
Really?
like teeny boppers. Yes. Like bye, bye, bye. I could still know
Yeah.
the chorus dance. Yeah. Anything like that. Any teeny bopper song I love. I love like 2000s hip hop, 90s, like all of that. Like if we go out, I want to be listening to like Yin Yang Twins. Like
Yeah.
that just like music will never be
Yeah.
better
Oh, yeah.
than when we went out in college.
Yeah.
Like, and then I still go out whenever I like have 2% of non-mom time. If
Yeah.
like going out, or if like we go to Nashville or something like
Yeah.
that, the music in the clubs are the music that I was.
Right.
And I'm like, it just will never get any better
Yeah.
than like Petey Pablo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Yin Yang Twins or I'm going to see T-Pain next month with my best friend Lacey.
Oh
We're
my
going
God.
to see T.I. and T-Pain.
Amazing.
We can't let it go.
Almost went to that.
You should buy tickets and meet us
Almost.
there.
I
It's going to
texted-
be so worth it.
I texted our core group of friends and I was like, yo, T.I. and T-Pain, what a show.
Nothing better.
Nothing better.
No, and Yin Yang Twins is actually in town tonight. And the way I contemplated spending money on going, I wanted to go so bad. They're playing in Mableton. And I was like, I don't know. Thank you. I was like, I don't know. Like if they were playing like anywhere else.
Like anywhere else.
Anywhere else. Yeah. But yeah, they're in town tonight too. But literally music will just never get better.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
That 2% of time you're not with your son.
Yeah.
What does that look? What is the ideal stress-free, no obligation day look like for you?
A good walk. Walking is healing. I like moving my body every day. I think that's important. I'm so blessed that my body is able to move, and I try to do that every day. Like this is like my dream day. Like it just
dream day.
Dream day.
This is a you day.
Okay. Also, either reading a really good book or like binging a show and just being mindless. You know what I mean? And then sushi.
Okay.
Yeah, just like complete, and maybe a trip to like Target or just something fun where I'm just like, this is my perfect day.
Where you can go to the dollar section and splurge on things you don't need.
Yeah, just the dollar section, $300 later.
Yeah.
Every time.
Every time.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Every time. I'm tired of hearing I can use these for my classroom though. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Well, I'm like, how can I make this a tax write-off? Because it could be for business.
Hey, there you go. Some deep ones.
Okay.
What does success look like to you?
We said it. Freedom.
Yeah, freedom.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I was.
Unapologetic freedom.
Yeah, perfect.
Absolutely.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Probably something similar to that. Like, and I wish I would have listened. This just hit me. I wish I would have listened to this. People show you who they are, and you should believe them the first time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. You shouldn't need years of someone showing you who they are. Don't let someone disrespect you more than once. Mm-hmm.
Heard. What is your, I know you know what heard means because you worked in a restaurant.
Yeah. Yes.
Corner.
Behind.
Yeah. Sometimes I say heard and they're like heard. I'm like, yeah, that means I got it. I got it. Acknowledged.
I acknowledge it. Now I'm doing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Like the other day, my dad was doing something and I was like, oh, so you're out of it? 86? And he was like, 86.
And sometimes when I'm ordering, I'm like, no Toms.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, sorry. That was shorthand.
Yeah, absolutely.
No Toms, no sticks. Like I just like shorthand it. Yeah.
What's your biggest fear?
Rejection.
Me and you both, sis.
Yeah.
And what is your favorite thing about yourself and your least favorite thing about yourself?
Okay. Favorite thing about myself. I like that I'm outgoing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that that's a good quality to have. Yeah. It will take you very far in life. My son is the same way. He is 7 and he wanted to do the talent show.
Oh.
And, that's big for a 7-year-old.
Yeah.
Right. And he wanted to tell jokes.
Comedian on our hands.
He wanted to be a comedian. So I was like, well, so if you know me, if you tell me you want to do something, we are going to do it.
Yeah, we're
going to make it happen. And so he tried out and he got it. And he was the only second grader with like a full, like they had kids telling jokes, but they were all up there with like other kids. And my son was up there by himself and he absolutely crushed it.
Did he?
Yes.
What kind of jokes was he telling?
Like dad jokes.
Oh
yeah. But he just like went up there. And the funniest thing he did was he like walked up there and he was like, all right, you guys, I've got some jokes up my sleeve. And he checked his little sleeve and he's like, what? There's no jokes up my sleeve. Like, and he did all of that himself and it was beautiful. And I told him, I said, public speaking will take you further in life than anything. Some people would rather die than public speak. I mean, it's that much, I didn't realize how much of a fear that was.
Yeah. And
I'm like, I'm so glad. And like, I posted it on social media and so many people were like, he does that because he sees you on stage. Like, and that'll make me emotional, but I'm like,
I was going to like,
didn't know I was going to
cry today.
I can't end on crying, but it was like, and I have pictures of me like leading conferences and stuff like that with our company and on stage and all that. And it's just like, maybe he did see that. Maybe he did, maybe he did get that confidence. And I hope he did from me, because his dad hates public speaking and hates talking to people. And I'm like, well, if he was getting it from one of us, that would be from me.
Right.
And so I hope that I do pass that down to him. But I do like that about myself because I think you can make anything kind of work on being able to talk to people and hold a conversation.
Absolutely.
And least favorite thing about myself, I'm extremely sensitive. And sometimes that can be, I take everything so to heart. I take everything personal. And I kind of hate that about myself sometimes.
Same.
Yeah.
I can relate to all of that.
Yeah. I'm extremely, like, if you thumbs up me, you may as well have told me to F off. Like in a conversation. Yeah. Or if someone's just like, K, I'm like, why do you hate me?
Yeah.
What did I do? You know what I mean? Like that stuff like that. Yeah. I take everything very, very to heart.
Yeah.
And that can be hard.
My dad went through a phase where he was like, he would say, okay, ... And I was like, Dad, what do you mean?
What do you mean? What else is next?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And he's like, okay. What? Yeah.
And that's how I would take it in my head. Like, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or, okay. And you're like, Dad, what'd I do?
What
And he's
I-
like, what? I'm just saying, okay, dot,
No.
dot, dot.
Then it no.
I'm like, no, dot, dot, dot.
No, and then it needs to be okay, AY.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
because okay, it's very short.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
I know. I read into things too much.
This was amazing.
I had so much fun.
Did you?
Yeah.
It feels like we talked about everything, but nothing at the same time.
I know. I'm
Yep.
like, I don't know who's going to follow it along, but it was fun.
Hopefully your ride or dies. I know Ashley will. She'll listen to it to the very end.
Go to her house.
Yeah, you know what?
I
We'll
know
do
where she
this.
lives.
Ashley, if you listened to the whole thing,
A code word.
send us both in a group chat send us the microphone emoji.
Yeah.
To tell us both that
Or no, anybody who listens to this full the way through, text us with the microphone
Yeah.
emoji. Yeah.
Yeah. Or like on
Accountability.
her social, any of your followers,
Yeah.
message her and message me too if you want to.
Yes.
Message us the microphone emoji to let us know you made it all the way through.
Yes, I love that.
And if you are one of those people, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to the whole thing.
Yes.
So now this is your spot. I will let you plug yourself, plug anything you want to. Now you have the spotlight is on you now.
Okay. So if you guys want to follow tips, tricks, fun, train wreck, messy, all of life in between, can I give my handle?
Yeah, for sure.
So Toneeka LC, and it's TONEEKA LC. That's me on Instagram. And then Facebook is just Toneeka Culpepper, my name. So follow along. Anything you want to grab, just let me know, or follow along for the fun of it too. It's quite entertaining.
Yeah. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. It was so much fun. I know that this will not be the last.
No, we got to do it.
Whether we do it every few weeks, months, whatever, like as long as we can plan it and schedule it so that it works out for you.
Yes. I know our first one was Mother's Day weekend. You were like, what about this weekend? I'm like, that's Mother's Day. Call your mama.
Yeah, you did. You did. And I did call her.
Good.
And I hung out with her.
Good.
I went to a Night Ranger concert with her.
Yeah, even better.
In downtown Woodstock.
Quality time.
You ever go to those? The Woodstock
Ashley
concert
always
series?
tells me, and she needs to tell me before, because you guys
so
always
cool.
do all the stuff down there. Yeah. I need to go. They're so fun.
They're so cool.
It's just such a mess with traffic. Like if I have to hunt for a parking spot, it's like I've already talked myself out of it.
And
you know what I mean?
I'm so anal about parking. People don't understand it. If I like when I used to date
parallel park, I'm not doing it.
Oh God, no.
No.
If I have to parallel park and I show up and I see that I have to parallel park, I'm turning around and leaving.
I'm leaving.
Oh yeah. Oh, I couldn't get a spot. I'm sorry. Because I'm not parking and walking.
No.
You know, if it's like a baseball game or a concert, like I can,
that's different. Yeah.
But if we're going to a bar and you're like, yeah, you got a parallel park. It's downtown.
No, we don't.
Is there a parking lot or a parking garage? If not, no.
I'll pay $20 to park in a parking lot so that I'm not circling something.
For sure.
No. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep. Not doing it.
But thank you so much for doing this. This is so much fun.
This is fun.
Guys, if you want to follow her along and see what she does every day, I'm going to put her handle and stuff in the description of the episode so you have easy access to it. Share the clips with your friends and family. If you found something enjoyable or laughable or meaningful, share it with somebody in your life so that they can listen to our whole conversation about everything. I feel like it was so ADHD, so chaotic.
We met our match with that.
Yes, we did. Yeah. That's okay. But we had a great time doing it. So thank you guys for spending your time with us today, and hope you had a good day.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.